Now, this comes as the Telegraph news agency is reporting Iran has placed its nuclear facilities on high alert, potentially bracing for a U.S. or Israeli attack. For more, we are joined now by Behnam Ben Taleblu, Senior Fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Behnam, great to have you as always. Now, with this statement that Iran is not open to direct talks, does this also mean that they are then therefore bracing for some sort of military action?
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you. With the Islamic Republic, never say never. While these guys do chant death to America and death to Israel, and they mean absolutely what they say, this is part of a larger diplomatic move, if I had to say, by the Iranians of increasing the asking price of actually even getting a bilateral U.S.-Iran negotiation. I mean, make no mistake, Araghchi's words follow the Supreme Leader of Iran's words, and what the Supreme Leader of Iran was trying to do was set a trap for U.S. President Trump, who has clearly expressed an interest in a diplomatic solution. So now Iran, with this kind of language, in my view, is trying to turn the superpower, the U.S., into the supplicant. And by having this increased conversation about bracing for potential military action, the Iranians are playing to the American public's image of war in the Middle East, which is costly and protracted, and trying to force America, rather than itself, to settle for a suboptimal solution.
And so what would America's options then be? If there's no direct talks, what type of incentive and what type of leeway can the United States give to Iran right now?
Well, there remains a really outsized academic question of is it even worthwhile to have diplomatic engagement with the Islamic Republic of Iran? I certainly would be someone who would say no at this point in time. The Iranians should be the ones who are the supplicants coming to the table. But more broadly, coming to the table to kind of submit, I would say, not to negotiate and lock in their position. But more broadly, this actually, in my view, paves the way for maximum pressure, full, vigorous enforcement of maximum pressure. If it's the regime who is pushing away from the table, then absolutely it's the regime who's going to have to feel, it's going to have to understand that it's going to be paying a price for this policy. And ultimately, vigorous enforcement of oil sanctions, petrochemical, regional trade can help change the Islamic Republic's calculus, and also tough military deterrence by both the U.S. and Israel can force the Islamic Republic to understand that there is no way out but through.
Now, Behnam, here in Israel, there was also an unannounced visit by CENTCOM Commander Michael Kurilla, and he met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. There are reports that say the reason could be surrounding Iran. There's very little information clearly known about this meeting, but is the timing of this coincidental with all of the news surrounding Iran, the United States, and Israel right now?
In my view, nothing is ever of coincidence with the Islamic Republic of Iran, but if you have to look even into last week's headlines, remember that not once, not twice, but thrice, IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, high-ranking officials talked about a willingness to engage in Operation True Promise 3. Operation True Promise 1 and 2 were the historic direct ballistic missile attacks by the Islamic Republic against Israeli territory in 2024. So if this is a regime that is talking about a willingness to engage in these operations again, whether these are threats or whether these are actually preparations for a larger military move, it's imperative that Israel, which fortunately, since the year 2020 has been moved into the CENTCOM AOR, coordinates with the head of CENTCOM, and the U.S. and Israel have a agreed upon defense posture as to how to deter, prevent, and punish such a thing.
Big questions remain, it seems, but certainly that coordination between the United States and Israel remains a priority. Behnam Ben Taleblu, thank you for breaking down the latest developments as always for us.
Thank you.